Hey, good morning. It's Tim O here. It's 8:31 Tuesday morning, 6:30:26, and it's 74 degrees out, and it's a nice morning. It's not too hot, but it's going to get hot. This week's going to be a hot one. Today I wanted to talk about relapse. You know, relapse is a part of my story, and relapse is a part of a lot of people's stories. And a lot of people, they get clean and they never go back. And God bless them. I'm not one of them. Um, I tried to get clean for many years, and I went back out, and I went back out, and it felt like I was just going down this highway, for a while, and I wanted to get clean, but I never really got rid of that alcoholic and drug mindset. So it would always drive me back, and when those storm clouds arrived and things got heavy, it's all good when things are going good, but when things get heavy, and that can be defined by anything in our life. Sometimes the littlest things in life seem to get so heavy. Sometimes we just can't let things go. Sometimes resentments and so on and so on, and can really mess a person up. And when those things come up, sometimes we just I can't say it's the easy way, just like how people say, suicide, they took the easy way. I don't really see an easy way in that. If you take your life, that, you have to be pretty down and out to be doing something like that. And sometimes we go back to that way that we cope with things, and sometimes alcohol and even drugs, for many of us, they worked for a while and then they didn't. And sometimes we never can differentiate that, that these things don't work for us no more, and it tempts us, and it's like in the rear view mirror, in the back of our heads talking to us. And fear brings it on, that sense of fear, that sense of dread, and getting out of ourselves was one way of coping with life, was coping with trauma, was just coping with, opening that channel and going down that road. And we head back down that way. And and I've seen that lately. One of us, I don't know him, but I heard of one of us dying, and actually two. And even though I don't know these people, they're one of us. And it hurts when we lose people to this disease. It's a wicked, wicked disease. Don't let it fool you. It all starts off fun and games, and it usually ends tragically, or when we're just so desperate we'll do anything to try to get on a new road, and do well, because for so long near the end we're not doing well. We're sick, we're hurting others, we're hurting ourselves, and that course can't really be veered off of if we're on this quest to go straight to hell. And I've seen that in people, and like I said, some people can't move out of the past. It's so hard to live in the present. I understand that. But what, I also tell myself when I start going down that road, that things are different now. I'm not living in that desperation. I'm not living in that drugged out haze. I'm not living on the street. I'm not living in some Father Bill's down there in Quincy. I'm not there, and we all can stumble, in recovery, but we don't have to fall. We just don't. We don't have to fall. We don't have to use. We can turn back and bring out some rational thinking, because that can be hard when you're in the down spiral. And, and sometimes we just don't want to feel. We don't want to feel what's going on. But I am so grateful that I can feel. Because for so long I was just numb. And there's really nothing like watching, that ignorance of seeing yourself in the mirror, seeing what this stuff is doing, seeing what it's doing to people around you, people you hung up with, people dying, people winding up in jail. You're seeing what this stuff is doing, and yet you do it anyways. It's a sick and vicious cycle. And, sometimes when you're dealing with somebody with that behavioral thing going on, you hear that life itself, with all the stuff that's going on, and me, I don't let that affect me, but that's me. Sometimes life itself taunts us. Sometimes just, the boredom that may come in recovery, if we allow that. I don't allow that. I mean, we went bowling the other day, a bunch of us went out and got some pizza, and it was a good fellowship thing. Some people from the noon meeting, it was fantastic. But people, if they're not sociable, they don't want to get into little, groups, they're not cliques. People put out something to go. It's like, give it a try. What else you gonna do? You're gonna sit home and think about this stuff that's going on? Sometimes you gotta get out of yourself, because you'll stay in that destination and it'll take you to that same old place. And that's usually hurting yourself and hurting the ones with your last name that you love. So, yeah, relapse is a real thing, and relapse is a part of my story. But that last relapse I went on, I realized that nothing was ever going to change. In addiction, nothing changes. It just stays the same. The only thing that does change is that you get meaner, that you get more ignorant, and that you can't see the truth beyond the lies. But in recovery, things change. And I've never seen anybody go back out there and come back and say it was a blast. All I ever heard is they went back out there and it got worse. Sometimes so worse that they don't come back, or they wind up in prison or in a nut house, and et cetera, et cetera. You can just put anything behind that. And if you're bounding down that road, if you go into that road where, because usually relapse, well, it does. Relapse happens a long time before the actual deed gets done. If you're heading down that road, really take a look out where you're going to wind up. Because it ain't going to change. Once you get a taste of this recovery thing, NAAA, whatever A you want to put behind it, you see that you can live a better life. You see that there is a life out there. So it's basically ruined your high. And when you go back out 9 out of 10 times, and usually it's 10 from anyone I ever heard, it just gets darker. And I don't want to be going and see my friends being wheeled out and put into a hearse when this could have been avoided. When these thoughts are just thoughts, and feelings pass and thoughts pass, but we just don't give it time. It took a long time for us to become addicted and to become alcoholics. And then take some time to clear our minds out, especially from these drugs that are out there now. And alcohol is a wicked drug. We praise it, we toast with it, we toast in the New Year's, but it's a wicked, it's a drug. It's a drug, and it has killed so many people. And right now, somebody is beating up their wife, or a wife is friggin' starving their kids, or somebody is getting in a car accident, or a domestic abuse case is going to come into play, and so on and so on. And it's all due to alcohol. Alcohol may be legal, which is still amazes me for how many people it's killed in this world. It's the money, I guess, and money rules over everything. But you don't have to relapse today. You can go to a meeting like I'm going to go to at 12 o'clock. And I'm going to it because I love going to meetings, and I love these new people that I've met, and I just started going back to this certain meeting that moved in Harvard Square, but I love it. I love it. I love the people. I love the new, changing the channel and starting something new, meeting new people, hearing new opinions, hearing new speakers. From the old to the young, doesn't matter. This thing doesn't discriminate. Just takes and takes and takes and takes till you either take your life or it takes it for you. So listen, please like and subscribe to this channel. If you struggle with these things, or if you're in recovery, or maybe you're seeking it. And if you're looking at this right now and you know someone that might need this, please share it with them. I'm not looking for anything out of this. I'm doing these things just because I found out how to do it. And I really like to talk about music and recovery and stories of my past. And I'd like to bring a community together, because we can't do this alone sometimes, but we can do it with others. So enjoy your Tuesday. Blessings to you all, and take care, folks.